putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here, KJRadio.com. If you want my book, it's racepimping.com. And I got to tell you, the state of America saddens me. How do we not get through the leftist? I mean, look at everything that's happening around us and ask yourself, how do they not see this? Now, before you get too deep into it, understand you live in a world where sanity prevails. You watch TV, you go to various sites that, give you enough information for you to discern where things really are. The left live in an I call it a cocoon of ignorance. They don't want to be anywhere near sanity. They watch only MSNBC and ESPN. Rachel Maddow is a goddess to them. They don't want you to tell the truth. Why would I want to know the truth about a guy like Barack Obama, a person I idolize? You know what I liken it to? If you've never seen the movie Malcolm X, I do recommend you see it. Denzel Washington is phenomenal. And Malcolm X finds out that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is not who he says he is. He's going around getting young girls in the Nation of Islam pregnant, sleeping with these young girls, and making them have babies. And when he's confronted, when Malcolm X says, the brothers are talking about you, sleeping with these young girls, and he says, yeah, he goes, that's my job. I'm to spread my seed throughout the community. And so he lures, he's a pedophile. He would lure these young girls, say, I'm the leader and you need to sleep with me for this reason. And he's worse than Harvey Weinstein. The number of children fathered by Elijah Muhammad rivals some of the worst people in the country. He did it under the ruse that he was some worthy leader of the Nation of Islam. And that's the group that Farrakhan took over. That's the group that killed Malcolm X as he finally got clarity. Malcolm X, he's a bad guy. No, he wasn't. He was a man who was under an ideology that he believed in, that he learned in prison, and it got him through a rough time. And when he got out of prison and he understood it and he got into the deep, dark recesses of it, he found out it was a lie. And then he went around the world and he went to Mecca and he found people of all colors that were worshiping the way he worshiped, thinking of the religion as he did, not the evil white man. And when he came back and he said, I'm a changed person, the Nation of Islam killed him. And the theory is that the guy who runs it now, Farrakhan, is one of the assassins. That's the religion that these guys want to point to. I mean, how do we not get through the leftist? I know I can, but I'm talking about the masses. You know how I get through to them? I tell them the truth, and I'm unapologetic. I don't back down. It's the way it is. Doesn't matter whether I'm speaking to a group of Islam, people that worship in Islam, or I'm speaking to a group of Jews, or I'm speaking to a group of Protestants, Catholics. It doesn't matter. I'm going to say the same thing. It's not a condemnation of you as a person. I will condemn the way you think. But here's what you have to do in order to win these people over. Because I know you guys are asking me all the time, what can we do? First, you got to single them out. You got to get them away from their group. Because in their group, they feel powerful. When they're away from their group, they can't stand behind the lies. And you ask them very simple questions. You could ask that question of anybody from the Nation of Islam and say, well, what about this and what about that? You could certainly ask it of Islam. Kevin, we no longer stone women. Do you do honor killings? Do you do vaginal mutilation? How do you treat women? How can you, explain to me all these different things as if I'm somebody that just wants to convert. I'm a woman that wants to convert. Well, Kevin, if you submit completely to man. Okay, so I submit to you. And then I go out, I'm in my hijab, and a group of men rape me as I'm coming back from getting my groceries at the market or whatever, and you have to kill me. Is that not right? Because why? Oh, because I brought dishonor to you. Explain that one. It seems to me that the dishonor would be with the men who would rape me for following my religion, or who would rape me for any reason. That's just me. Anyway, you got to get them away from others, and you got to question them. You got to make them come to grips with the lies. Think about everything that the left is facing today. Barack Obama left. He crept back in to talk about the Virginia governor's race. But for the most part, Barack Obama had made out like a rock star. He's worth tens of millions, if not more. He gets $400,000 plus per speech. He makes more in 30 minutes than he made in a year. And he's speaking all over the place. He hobnobs with the wealthiest people in the world. Has Barack Obama gone into a poor neighborhood and said, you know what? I'm going to oversee the construction of a $5 million think tank learning center for black children. I'm going to employ these young people to run it themselves. I'm going to get corporate sponsorship to make sure that it's endowed and it continues on and it'll be a legacy to this or that. No, he's done none of that. He's hobnobbing with Richard Branson and other wealthy white billionaires. The people that he tells young black kids are the enemy. He hobnobs in the midst of these folks every single day. When he's not with them, then he's hanging out with B and Jay-Z and other very wealthy blacks. Barack Obama's hanging out with the wealthiest people of all colors all around the world wherever he goes. And he's not making one reference to the impoverished. No, the people that he says he's fighting for, Main Street versus Wall Street, none of it. Is he going around solving world hunger or looking for ways that he can improve the world with all these newfound riches that he has? No, he is going to do it. For him, this is a lifelong vacation, and you don't spend vacations in impoverished countries. He is not going to go out and put in water systems in the deep, dark recesses of Africa somewhere. He's not going to do it. And then look at his legacy. They want to talk to you about Donald Trump. He's a loose cannon. He's a crazy man. They're telling you all about Barack Obama. They're telling you about Hillary Clinton. They're telling you about leftist ideology when they say that. Because the only thing I see when I see leftist ideology is I see crazy people. I see people who believe that they can convince you to let people in, into the country for no reason. They claim building this wall is a sign of, it's negative. No, it isn't. It's a demarcation. It's a point that says, here's where our land ends and yours begins. That's it. If you want to take it for more than that, you can. Because you know what? We all have laws. Mexico has laws to enter their country. The only reason why nobody gets mad if Mexico were to build that wall is because nobody's trying to sneak into Mexico. But if we decide, it would be like this. You're a neighbor. You've got no wall, no fences in your neighborhood. And every time you come home, the neighbor's barbecuing in your backyard, swimming in your pool. They've gone in your house. They brought out your food. Your dog is pregnant by their dog. I could name 50 different things that have happened. And then you go, you know what? Guys, come on. And this goes on for, decades. And then you finally say, okay, enough is enough. And you build a fence. And they go, look at you. Yeah, Mr. Unneighborly. Building a fence, huh? Yeah, hey, thanks, Bob. How else? I got 1,000 ways I could give you scenarios of how this is silly. The proliferation of Muslim attacks around the world. I did a story the other day about attacks in Germany are up, 900? They had 900 attacks this year. They're up quadrupled, I think they said. They've quadrupled. And now everybody can't connect the dots there. How many attacks have we had? How many attacks did we have in the 70s, the 80s, 90s? And I'm talking about Muslim terror attacks. And then suddenly we bring in Muslims and we go, I don't understand why we're having so many Muslim terror attacks. It's because of the Muslims. It isn't because white people got mad. I'm going to start having terror attacks and bringing in all these Muslims. We're out here trying to fight for safety and security. The government says it's going to protect us. And I've watched decades as the government has not protected us. They've let people come in with disease. We've got more sex trafficking. We've got more gang activity. We've got more drugs. We've got more terror attacks. And they go, yeah, well, we're going to protect you. Well, you know what? I don't like the way you protect me. I think we could do it better on our own. I'd rather have militias protecting me than you. I'm going to have to leave it there. We'll be back again in a bit.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.